Panthers already dealt a devastating blow this season. They're going to be without their captain for 7 to 9 months, Sasha Barkov, as he recovers from ACL surgery. Now, Bill Zito has been one of the most aggressive general managers in the NHL. So, Marty, who should the Florida Panthers be targeting now?
So if you're going to be aggressive and you want to hit that grand slam, you go after Evgeni Malkin. Look, he's on an expiring contract. He's on a bad team. I know everybody's talking about where is Sidney Crosby going to go. I think Sid stays in Pittsburgh for the rest of his career, but I think Malkin gets moved this year. So why not get a leg up on everybody that would like to add a center at some point during the season? Then you go get Evgeni Malkin and you play him on the top line, with Reinhardt, so that you don't disrupt the rest of your lines. You don't have to move Bennett up. You don't have to move Lundell up. You still have the same roster, the same 1-2-3 punch. So that's who I would go, Frankie. Go for the grand slam right away.
Listen, I love it. I think Evgeni Malkin still provides some offensive punch for your group, and you're not asking him to do too much defensively because it's a really strong defensive group with the Florida Panthers. A couple other names that would make sense, considering there's going to be some teams that we know are sellers. How about Alex Wennberg? Fits the mold of a Florida Panther player because he's been a Florida Panther player before, say playing on San Jose now. We know they're going to be sellers. And how about JG Pageau? He's had some really good playoff moments in the past, but one of those guys that fits what they do. They're hard to play against. They're one of those teams that can be aggravating at times and, maybe not the same offensive pop as a guy like Evgeni Malkin, but certainly fit what the Florida Panthers try to do with their game plan.
And I think it's slim picking when you look around and you say at this time of the year, who are going to be sellers? Who are going to be completely out? Because teams that are going to make the playoffs don't want to help the Florida Panthers. They don't want to give them a third Stanley Cup, right? They want to stay away from that. So I like Jean-Gabriel Pageau a lot in that role. But another guy, I'll throw you one more, and I don't know where Columbus is going to be, but Charlie Coyle. And look, Charlie Coyle has always been that utility guy. Can he come in, play top line? Can he play third line? Are you going to move things around? So these are all guys that are between $5 and $6 million, so you're not going to overspend on this season, and you're not going to mortgage your future with your cap. But I do agree on Pageau. I really like him in that role. But I'll toss in Charlie Coyle as well. So we've got 4 options there, Frankie. I think that probably gives the Florida Panthers and Bill Zito plenty to look at and try to fill in for what Barkov is going to be missing with the Florida Panthers.
Marty, I love the fact that you brought up Charlie Coyle because he plays on the Columbus Blue Jackets. We don't know what they're going to be yet. They could be a bubble team, but I think you hit the right team in Columbus if things don't go well, but you got the wrong player. Because I'd be looking at someone else, and it's their captain, Boone Jenner. A little familiarity with Bill Zito from Bill Zito's time within the Columbus Blue Jackets organization. And if things don't go well, that's a guy on an expiring contract who also really fits the mold of what the Florida Panthers are all about. I'm going to throw one name at you, which I think is off the board right now. It should be off the board right now, but we don't know what's going to happen this season. We don't know who's going to underperform. Let's say the Los Angeles Kings get off to a terrible start, and for some reason it goes off the rails. Not saying it's going to happen, but what if it does? All of a sudden, does Anze Kopitar want to make one more run at a Stanley Cup, and then you replace a Selke centerman with another Selke centerman and Anze Kopitar? Things would have to go really bad for the Los Angeles Kings, but for the Florida Panthers, it feels like nothing is off the table for them.
Yeah, so if Kopitar hadn't announced that he was retiring at the end of the year, I'd say 100%. And maybe he stays on long term. You never know. But because he made that announcement, he's going to have his farewell season. I don't think he moves from the LA Kings. I don't see Kopitar wearing a different jersey. But I like that. That's the type of player that would fit in perfectly for Florida. So given that, you may be able to evaluate players around the league for the first month or two and see where the Panthers are, I think they'll have more options by the time you roll around November and maybe even December 1st. The one thing I would stay away, though, Frankie, I would not move Sam Reinhart to the middle. I don't think I would like to, move Lundell to the top line. I want to keep Lusterrain and Lundell and Marchand together. So that's why I think Florida needs to get a center. But, maybe you wait a little bit and you see what teams are completely falling off by the time December rolls around.
There are some options for sure. No one is going to be able to replace Sasha Barkov the way he plays, but if we've learned one thing about Bill Zito and how he operates and the way the Florida Panthers operate, they will not be quiet, they will be very aggressive, and they will be opportunistic when the time comes.